So just a little update on the overheating problem on the Buick. So I did all that clean out and it all worked reasonably well, I think, and it's certainly cleaner than it was. But I took it for a drive and I went through one of the little tourist resorts on the south coast of Australia, of New South Wales, Kiama, and I got stuck in crazy weekend traffic, and the car didn't boil, but the temperature went right up to the top again. So it's still getting hotter than I think it should, and then you get on the open road and it comes back down again. If it ran at the higher temperature all the time and it didn't boil, then you might think that's what the thermostat's set for, except that I know that the thermostat's set for 175. And it was getting up to close to 250, I think. It was certainly, well, we get in the car and have a look. It was getting close to 250. It was right up, maybe even to 250. It was getting up near that for the stop-start driving, which is what it used to do. So even with this new two-piece radiator cowl in and the new 8-blade fan, and that's a new radiator. It really is. It's 5 years old now, but that's hardly done any driving. I'm still getting this same problem, and then on top of that, a major engine flush. Now I did clean this engine bay, but it's cleaner than it was. But we've got some spill over here on this. I just did it with a high pressure jet. This is well mounted. It doesn't move at all. That's with this bracket. I've got this little bracket clamped on at the back, and then that's screwed to it. And I can't get that to flex at all, so I'm not worried about that. But I thought I might give this a start and have a look. But I thought that the coolant, I've just topped it up. It didn't take much at all, so it hasn't been using one. It just won't let me win. So I've got enough of that liquid intelligence cleaner to have another go, because it's pretty obviously didn't get it all out on the first go. It definitely got some out, but not all of it. So I'll just, let's see, I've got a cold start here. So in go the keys. I haven't started this for a week and a half. So there's the fuel filling up in the fuel bowl. Now there's another problem too that I've just discovered. So the fuel pump, you can't really see it well in there, but there's the fuel pump there. And I bought that, I don't know, 3 years ago, because I was having trouble with, that's it, there. It keeps focusing on, hang on. Alright, my wife just rang to tell me that she's buying me some lunch and I'll be home soon. So anyway, that's all. Fuel bowl's filled. Yeah, I was going to say, I had another problem. Fuel pump is down there, and I went and visited after that drive I went on, where it got warm. I went and visited a friend who lives on the top of a, not very big, but quite sharp and steep hill. Alright, I'm just moving around trying to get a better shot of the car. and it starved when I got outside of his place, and I pulled over and there's no fuel in the fuel bowl or in the fuel filter. It had drained out. So I suspected what had happened. The pump was running, and I just rolled back and reversed into his driveway without the engine running, and as soon as the car got level, the fuel filled up again. So I'm thinking that there's, I don't know, this can't pull, so can't pull fuel from the tank. So I do have a problem with the fuel gauge. So if I turn the car on, well, it is, you'll see that the fuel gauge is doing this little dance. And the way this is at the moment, if the fuel is showing, the needle showing empty, it means it's full, and then it goes from there and it does this dance, and then when it stops dancing, and it just jumps around like this the whole time, when it stops dancing around like this, it settles on full. That means you're running out of petrol. So I've been putting off, it's been like this for I don't know how many years. Dad just always carried fuel with him, and didn't drive it that much, and was kind of happy to know that was what was going on. Apparently had a look at it but didn't get it working. I need to have a look at that. So I'm deciding whether I move that pump from up the front down to the back and see if it can push, or just put another pump. I've got another pump. Just install another pump at the back and have two, one at the back and one at the front. Because I'm pretty sure that I failed to get to take a girl to a wedding. One of my daughter's really good friends. My daughter was bridesmaid, and they were at the top of this really bad hill, and this was 3 years ago, and it was really playing up badly. I had a multitude of problems that I hadn't got on top of. The car was really hard to start. It was when I had the wrong engine ignition, electronic ignition on it. And so it was really dodgy anyway. But this was really... Oh, I just decided to settle there. Whatever that means, I don't know. But, yeah, it just didn't make it up the hill. Thankfully, another car got to step in. They had a fairly shiny, brand new Mercedes four-wheel drive type car that was... looked fairly fancy, that someone had just ended up being upgraded to, so that was very lucky. But I'm beginning to wonder, I was sort of putting it down to vapor lock, but I'm thinking that maybe this car with this pump up there just can't prime itself, or just can't keep prime. But anyway, let's see, I'll give that about one push. Okay. Might have flooded it by running it. Wow. So much for my super duper first start, a cold start. Oh, what do I do? Just leave it for a while? I'll give it a couple of pumps. Wow, that made a bit of difference. So, yes, you can see that fuel gauge is not very comforting. So I want to fix that. And every time I start this, I realise how much I want to fix that exhaust leak on the other side. Alright, I'll let that idle for a little while and we'll see what happens. Okay, so it's opened up. I just added more.
to be a kind of a black tinge. Hang on, I'll just rev this.